Before every single football match, there's a moment. The broadcast cuts to a graphic. Two columns of numbers appear on screen. 433, 442, 352. The commentator reads them out like they mean something obvious. And if you're honest, you nod along. You've seen these numbers your entire life. But if someone asked you right now to explain exactly what 4231 means and why a manager would choose it over a 433, most people go quiet. Those numbers aren't just position counts. They are an entire tactical philosophy compressed into 3 digits. A set of instructions that tells 11 players how to move, where to press, when to attack, and how to defend. All of it encoded in a graphic that flashes on screen for 6 seconds and then disappears. This is every football formation explained, what they actually mean, and why the game keeps reinventing them. Before anything else, you need to know how to read the numbers. A formation is always listed from back to front. The goalkeeper is never counted. So when you see 4-3-3, that means 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 forwards. That's it. Simple system. Except the moment you understand that, a new question appears. Why 4 defenders and not 3? Why 3 midfielders and not 2? Every number is a decision. Every decision is a philosophy. And every philosophy came from a manager somewhere trying to solve a problem the previous system couldn't fix. The 4-4-2 is where modern football began. 4 defenders, 4 midfielders in a flat line, 2 strikers up top. For most of the 20th century, this was the default setting of the sport. It was simple, balanced, and brutal in the right hands. 2 strikers meant constant pressure on the opposition's center backs. 4 midfielders covered the width of the pitch. 4 defenders provided a solid base. English football lived inside this formation for decades. It was the shape that won World Cups and league titles and European trophies. And then, it started dying. The problem with the flat 4-4-2 is the space it leaves in the middle. When 2 teams both play it, the central midfield becomes a war zone. Whoever wins that battle wins the game. Managers started looking for ways to put an extra body in the center, and that search produced everything that came next. The 4-3-3 solved the midfield problem by removing 1 striker and adding 1 midfielder, 4 defenders, 3 central midfielders, 3 forwards. The extra midfielder gave teams more control in the center of the pitch, and the 3 forwards, 2 wingers and a central striker, still provided width and a goal threat. Barcelona under Pep Guardiola turned the 4-3-3 into an art form. Their 3 midfielders controlled possession so completely that the opposition barely touched the ball. Their wingers cut inside onto their stronger foot and scored goals. Their striker, or whoever was wearing the 9 shirt that day, operated as the focal point of everything. The 4-3-3 became the dominant formation of the 21st century. Nearly every elite club runs some version of it today. But even this shape has a weakness. 3 central midfielders means one of them has to defend while 2 attack. Get the balance wrong, and you're exposed. The 3-5-2 is the formation that makes casual fans nervous because it looks like you've taken a defender away. 3 center backs instead of 4. But here's what most people don't realize. Those 3 center backs are protected by 2 wing backs, players on the outside of the formation who defend like fullbacks but attack like wingers. The 5 in the middle isn't 5 central midfielders. It's 3 central midfielders plus 2 wingbacks operating in wide positions. When the team attacks, those wingbacks push so far forward, the shape looks like a 3-3-4. When the team defends, they drop back, and it becomes a 5-3-2. The same 11 players. 2 completely different shapes depending on which direction the ball is going. Antonio Conte built his entire managerial career on this system. Inter Milan won the Serie A title with it. Chelsea won the Premier League with it. The 3-5-2 rewards intelligent wingbacks and punishes teams that can't identify which shape they're actually facing. The 4-2-3-1 is the formation that took over from the flat 4-4-2 inches the mid-2000s and never fully left. 4 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders sitting in front of them, 3 attacking midfielders behind a single striker. The 2 holding midfielders, sometimes called a double pivot, solved the problem that destroyed the flat 4-4-2. Instead of one player protecting the defense, there are two. They cover for each other. One can press forward while the other holds position. The space in behind them is almost always covered. The attacking midfielder in the center, the 10 role, operates in the gap between those two lines. The wingers provide width. The striker is the target. It sounds complicated. In practice, it looks seamless. Spain's national team dominated international football between 2008 and 2012, running variations of this system. Germany built their 2014 World Cup winning side around it. The 4-2-3-1 is probably the most copied formation in the history of the sport. The 3-4-3 is an attacking statement. 3 defenders, 4 midfielders, 3 forwards. It sacrifices defensive security for offensive firepower. When it works, it suffocates the opposition. 3 forwards pressing from the front, while 4 midfielders push forward in support. The opposition never gets a moment to breathe. When it doesn't work, the 3 center backs are exposed, and the team gets picked apart on the counter. Guardiola's Manchester City used a version of this in their most dominant seasons. It requires extraordinary players, particularly in central midfield, to make the numbers work defensively. Most managers avoid it. The ones brave enough to use it tend to be either geniuses or reckless, sometimes both. Here's the uncomfortable truth about everything above. Formations are a lie. Not the concept, the execution. The graphic you see before kickoff is a starting point. The second the whistle blows, it dissolves. Fullbacks push forward and become midfielders. The number 10 drops deep and becomes a third central midfielder. The striker drops into channels and drags center backs out of position. A 4-3-3 inches possession can look like a 2-3-5. The same team out of possession can reshape into a 4-4-2 defensive block in seconds. Modern football doesn't have formations. It has principles. The numbers describe where players start. They say nothing about where they end up. The managers who understand this, who build systems that shift fluidly between shapes rather than rigidly holding one, are the ones winning at the highest level. The ones who treat the formation as fixed are the ones getting exposed. So the next time that graphic appears on screen before kickoff, you'll see something different. Not just numbers, a philosophy. A set of problems the manager is trying to solve, and a set of answers they've decided to try. The 4-4-2 built the modern game. The 4-3-3 refined it. The 4-2-3-1 protected it. The 3-5-2 stretched it. And every single one of them breaks down the moment the ball starts moving. That's not a flaw in the system. That's the whole point. Football isn't played on a graphic. It's played on a pitch by 11 people making decisions faster than any number can describe. You've always seen those numbers. Now you know what they were trying to say. If you want to keep going deeper into how football actually works, hit subscribe. Every video on this channel is built to give you the blueprint. I'll see you in the next one.